So in that thinking, as we go on for the next part of this video, meet yourself with the kindness. I'm happy to be demonstrating a video from a dancer's perspective, someone who just loves to move. The journey of bendy backs. Back bends is something we'll go through in this video, and also just guiding ourselves through a journey of exploration with setting us up for integrity in the upper back, lower back, and also the arms. Now there's a lot of variation in back bends. Sometimes we'll give like a nice stretch in the morning, or we'll do many other things, but how often do we actually feel liberated in the spine? I am sure there is so many other attributes of our amazing bodies that can contribute to that liberation. But today, I am feeling personally super open in my body. I've done some movement before this, and in the same way, I hope that you can approach times of training that require more discipline and also a little bit of vulnerability. Take it to account that you've already moved today and that your body is capable of pushing further. So that's where I find myself right now. I'm here at the Muso Movement Studio. Please check it out. It's such a refuge for myself and my training, and also such a great space to make videos for long-lasting memories. Let's start off with a sequential warm-up. We will go on to some upper body curves, something supernatural to dignify where we are at in our strength. I'm going to take my shoulder down and then let the opposing shoulder just collapse around. Let the breath help. The breath is there, and it's kind of vital for a lot of these movements that require back bend and sustaining ourselves for a longer duration in those vulnerable states. As I do these upper body curves for the next 3, I can feel just a slight squeeze of my low half supporting me in the isolation of the top. Feeling how the shoulders peel open. And then come to that close. Let's do that quick rebound for the other side. And as mentioned, it's so important that we listen to ourselves. And on this Monday, start of my week, I've been able to move with goodness in my morning. That has allowed me to come here and hone in on my skills with just that, skills. And I feel safe to do so in my body as it's already been through various movements. It is strong. I am strong. Give yourself those affirmations for the next 2 circles. Good. Just as we've developed deeper into this upper body movements naturally, take a wider stance. Let the knees have somewhere to go with the toes facing out. Slight bend in the knees. Let's incorporate that bend. As I move, let's go to the right, dropping the left shoulder. I allow the bend, the hinge at the hips, to be a continuum of the upper body motion. Really peeling the upper back and letting the weight of our head just opening up the shoulders. Spread the toes. And as we bend here as well, something to note is the groundedness of the legs and the feet. When we go into our back arch, that'll be a main principle. Let's go the other way now. Take your time. It can be a bit more dramatic. And the journey to back bends, in my experience, has been one where I've quickly found discrepancies in my body, whether my right arm can sustain myself longer or just one scapula feeling more tender than the other, through aches and sometimes pains as well. So meet yourself with understanding today. I train in a way that brings a symmetrical body. That is through acrobatics, primal movements. trainings on mats like yoga. So in that way, I feel the trust in my body to demonstrate the various parts of this video, of this discovery. I'm just going to maintain a forward fold, and we're going to go ahead and initiate strength of the hamstrings. Now, if your hamstrings are feeling a bit tender, give them a bend and straighten, swaying side to side. Like I said, I think this video is definitely beneficial once we have moved for some time. But nevertheless, these movements can allow you to discover lightly for what we have to come. Now, from here, as mentioned, you can maintain a parallel, that is toes facing forward, knees facing the front. I add a slight bend to it all, and with a flat back, as if I was holding food on my spine, I lift from the fold all the way through. Feel the hamstrings rooted in the feet and lift. I'm going to slightly press forward just from intuitive movement. Shoulders back there, go down. Flat back there, crown of the head long, an extension of the spine. Release the head at the perceived end point. Inhale, lift. Feeling the abdominals towards the spine as we rise. Exhale, hips forward. Another time. Going flat back on the journey down, or just tucking the chin and rolling down is beneficial. My friends, these slow movements are to connect us with the thing that is most consistent in this time moving, which is the breathing. So let these easy and slow movements be a reminder that breath is priority. Hold the fold. Good job. Let's go on with a couple more movements guiding us to the ground. Now, if you'd like to go ahead and just tap the back of the knees and go on to the hips before we go on to the ground. Get underneath the body. We can move around here. I love to always point and flex my feet. Just tap around the various parts of your body. Okay, let's get into the chest. Pardon the microphone. Maybe some in the neck. And back down. Good. Coming back to a forward fold, let's develop into one of my favorite flows. What we'll do is root ourselves with the hands, full palm, yes? I bend one leg down just to make contact with its knee. That same side arm will go to my side, and the opposing side extending far out. Exhale in. Switching here, noticing that upper body rounding, that curve, before you go on to the other side. No dignified way, but my friends, let's really use the palm that's on the ground holding us here. Use it, press it entirely, not just the fingers. Noticing the journey to come out of this slight arch. I think belly button in first, it starts to move. That is where the control is. And the pressing of the hips forward while the knee is in contact with the ground. That's what we feel with the feet anytime we're in our bridge pose. Good, my friends. So I recommend, if you don't have any props, go ahead and just lie on the ground with a foam roller if you have one. I love to just use it as a way to support myself when I go through arches while lying down. Let's come on to the ground. So from here, I'm just gonna find my forearms on it. This is also just like a nice massage for that fascia. And from here, with the foam roller closer to me, the more arch you are going to get in the spine. The further away from you at the start point, the less arch. So what we're going to see here is a simple weight distribution to the low half of the body, causing my arms to naturally roll on that foam roller. This can be done with anything that just moves and rolls on the ground like a medicine ball. And you can even just hold yourself with a block as well. You can hold 2 blocks on your hands and guide yourself. Perhaps even just doing this with hands gliding on the ground. Forearms, elbows, push from the hands. That's the same thing. But with this foam roller, I do feel as if I get every single part and more by pressing to it at the end. Coming back to my breath, I just lost the rhythm there. And just feeling that expansion, of course. I forgot the camera was here. I'm just like fully embracing the nourishment of this support. Takes time, yes, my friends. So as we go on with these movements, meet yourself with understanding. Progress is truthfully seen with discipline. Discipline takes time. There is the process to say, hey, I'm going to wake up early. Hey, I'm going to keep hitting these back bends. Hey, I'm going to drink more water, right? That's also priority. These muscles cannot relax without proper nourishment. So that is what meeting ourselves with understanding truly means. I live by that. Now, as you see, same thing. With a yoga ball, you can do the same thing. At times, I'm just going to demonstrate other movements that you can do. I'll just kind of put like a little quick montage at this portion of the video. There's so much that can be done to discover the capacity through your training. As a bendy back comes from a symmetrical body, especially in this video where we're going to do handstands to falling, a skill I recently obtained through my discipline. Let's get into the arms. I think with the pressure we've been putting and also the isolation, a prop like a rope or a stick, whatever you feel would be very beneficial. Grab the rope in a way where we can do those kind of arm throughs. I'm going to start here at this capacity. Use that breathing. Free the shoulders from the ears. I've found that building in my disciplines has allowed my shoulder mobility to bring so much trust with acrobatic movements, suspension in lifts, and also just enhancing movements we all have seen, like push-ups, one-handed plank holds, cartwheels. Now I'm working on my forearm strength and the grip. Oof. Exhaling as I go through. Really allows the shoulders to alleviate. Good. Give another quick round of tapping. Great job, my friends. Wrapping up with the last two movements. Now, I believe that these both will get into the hips more, so there can be more done for the hips, like our inverted knee cave-ins that we have seen in my in-person classes. Find a wall for the second to last movement. This is a great way to mock back bends and arches taught to me by my mentor, Sean, here at Musso. We're going to start facing away from the wall, so find a rooted stance. It's a great way to practice as well. I almost challenge myself to not pivot my feet when I do these movements. Now, from here, I'm actually going to do the opposing with my hands, so that is to face down. You think you would face this way, you can start there, but remember, we are training the articulation of shoulders as well. So starting with fingers down can really mimic a full bridge and movement through a bridge to lift. I really use my exhale to rotate shoulder in place. The lower, the more vigorous, the higher, the more attainable. The opposing hand is going to rotate, I think more circular, as that truly mimics the movement, to exhale, turn to place, pressing both hands to rotate on the other side. Finish the movement we started with, fingers facing down. Rotate the fingers facing down the wall. As you see, it can be intense, but in this movement, I really allow hips to be firm, rooted, as if I was in a bridge, yes. And as I rotate, I allow the trust in my upper body to fold and to get me to the wall with the free hand. Now, that is a great way to truthfully train and get into the vulnerable state of this full hinge and rotational movement. And you're noticing how my fingers are spreading firm onto the wall. Let's do the next 4. Adjusting the distance of your hands if you'd like. Any adjustment supports you, as I always love to say and remind. Don't cheat yourself, as I did at the end point. Fully curve through the upper body as we unwind and push. Good job, my friends. Next movement is combining the same discipline with the low half as we just did with the upper half. So it really does mimic a full bridge. Now I'm going to grab the yoga ball. You can grab anything. You can even hold a stick in your hand if you have big boxes, like boxes that you jump on. You can even use a wall. I think this would work great with the wall. But I'm just going to demonstrate with this yoga ball. Now from here, I'm going to take about a foot's length away from the ball. Now from here, I'm going to be standing on one leg, training that single leg hold. With the same arm of the leg I am standing on, I am to reach back, creating a contralateral reach as the opposing leg is extending, tap the ball or the thing that you are trying to get to. Now you're going to notice that the slight bend in the standing leg is most supportive, and the leg going far away from us is a counterbalance along with this arm that is moving. Now we are moving through the open side. As you're noticing, this side of my body is all open. You can go and do a big twist with the other side. Let's try it out, which this also feels great, but a bit easier. So I do want to challenge myself more by being unstable. That is where we grow. And it's quite challenging. It's as if we're doing a pistol squat, but sending hips forward rather than sinking down. So you can imagine the effort that comes with that. And the gentleness is required to tap the yoga ball, or else if I'm very rigid, it'll go away from me. So I'm feeling the abdominals, caught myself pressing pelvis forward. Let's do the same motion for the next 3. Noticing how this moving arm is rotating beautifully up to catch me down. And for the last one, I'm going to reach a bit further to almost failure. Good. Let's do that on the other side. Ooh, yes, this vitality. Meet yourself with understanding. And as you're seeing, I'm using a yoga ball. This is a much bigger one. You can use a smaller one to challenge your distance. But I think with the proprioception that we have cultivated within ourselves can allow us, or allow this whole movement sequence to be a threshold to work from. Open side, I lean towards. Back bends really show the body's connection with all of its parts. Moving in this way, I quickly recognize how the feet play such a big role, and how the strength of my hips protect my low back. So in that thinking, as we go on for the next part of this video, meet yourself with the kindness as we challenge ourselves. Pushing myself for this last one. Good. Shake it out. A lot of glutes there. I think that move quickly shows. I know that move quickly shows the strength in one's hips. All right, I'm going to clear up all of these props to then start with the new. Now that I took a quick break, I feel like those movements really got my fluids going. Got some hydration in. Now I'm going to put my hair up because it is possible that I catch it with my hands. We're going to start off with an actual bridge. Now I've been mentioning it this whole time. Put your checklist into your priority in your mind. That is to go through the various qualities I've already talked about in this video. Those keywords that help you. That is to apply purpose into your training. We can start on the ground, which I'll demonstrate after I demonstrate how I think you could all try to go into. Now, just as we've seen this motion with the wall accommodated arches, I learn how to press through the legs, simultaneously trusting and leaning back. From here, maintain good structure in my feet. Find a good stance. At times I feel like my knees go out, which is totally fine. Your body will accommodate for the vigorous movement. Now you saw that speed change at the end. That is the lack of my stability at that point. From here, this is enough. We can rotate to a full hinge when you're ready, but just from here, I invite you to press and drive through the legs, through the hips, looking up to the ceiling, which is very beneficial to go up. You can use the free arm to bring momentum. Good. Realign your body. Find that quick reset before reaching for the other side. Heels may lift. I notice mine. Your heels will lift depending on how close your hand is to your body. Find your momentum. Find your spot of contact with the eyes. Lift up. Good. Now, a couple rounds of that is enough. You guys, that is a full hinge. You can develop by going down once again the same way, or what I was going to mention is to be on the ground already in contact as if we landed and drive the hips up. Whatever you choose, feel the vulnerability in the low back, feel the strength through the arm on the ground and the push from the ground, and drive through the heels of the feet. Breathe. From here, my friends, you can discover by rotating as if you're against the wall all the way to catch yourself with the opposing hand, pivoting the arm on the ground to then lift up for the other side bridge. Lift up. Good. A lot of stability there, my friends. So much. But starting on the ground can eliminate this fear. Not eliminate the fear, excuse me. Starting on the ground can support you in understanding the journey of maintaining a bridge. Because you're not going from top to bottom, you're kind of avoiding that very tender space that not many that are regular gym rats or just people who love the gym can trust. That very small, vulnerable space in the low corner of your back, that is what we feel when we go from top to bottom. So take a couple reps, explore the variation you love while prioritizing your breath. My friends, I can't believe we didn't even do this move, but as I'm moving already in these back bends, I feel like just doing some upper body curves. Or we did do these movements basically at the start. Take anything that feels intuitive to alleviate and come back to your constant breathing, because without that in these movements, you can really come to a point of potential injury. So we want to relax the muscles through breath to obtain this vigorous, elongated motion. You see how slow we're moving? Now, the next style of back bend is to start from standing. Now, this has taken a lot of integrity in the low back. And I would also add trust in being upside down, because from standing, we are completely arching all the way to make contact with the arms. In my personal journey, I have found the extension of my arms to be more weak. I'm not sure if that is a natural attribute as we're arching backward. I feel like they're super bent, which you'll see now, okay? Starting rooted, trusting, yes, trust, and breathe continuously. The second your hands make contact on the ground, you're liberated from the constant pressure we feel. My legs bending and pressing forward is vital. So that speed change there. From here, I can bring close with the legs to just press through the toes. Get closer with the arms. You can unwind from here. Simply collapsing down is beneficial, but because I have the strength in this movement, I'm going to bring my legs close walk my hands close. You can favor one side and shoot up. Counter stretch, not balance. Maybe balance, same thing. Good. So that is a variation that takes time, a lot of love for yourself, and cultivation through sacrifice and time, because this all takes time. Yes. Great job. Take a moment to reset. I just know like a back bend a day really brings great love to various movements that, honestly, a lot of movements that require an arch in the back. So many, you guys. Good job. I'll demonstrate that movement another time, and then we're going on to the more vigorous version of this back bend that starts from standing as well, but from upside down and tipping over. But first, let's demonstrate this back bend. I always get so excited. You know, I'm staying in the present, but I get a little excited there. Great job, my friends. On that attempt of this back bend, I felt the importance of bending my legs and pressing forward, looking up to the ceiling. So I think coming out of it felt smoother. Definitely crashed a little bit more on the way down. So just take note, no judgment, observing with discernment. From here, if you have a handstand with control, that is to press through the straightening of the arms, elbows facing more back than anything, palms firm, slight bend. From there, the simple tilt of your body will guide you to bend. Just like this, if my hand is my legs, it bends here, and that is what will catch me in the bridge, feet planted. I have discovered that when I am in my handstand, the journey down comes from the calmness and control, one, and two, the bending through the knee joint. Just move that joint there, that knee. The bending here actually brings me closer to the ground. So once you've obtained straight legs, bend the knees, you're naturally going to collapse. The weight is shifting you there, you'll land beautifully. This movement is something I just obtained, but through constant discipline, thankfully through my conditions, as I love to say, I have been able to discover a variety of control, especially because from the high point of my handstand to falling down, it is more impact. The same way I'm doing here, but now it's my legs making a dramatic impact to the ground. And so, much in the same way, it shows us where we are in lack and where we can train and discover more. Now, I would say for many, I consider this a limit, a threshold. From here, you have a walkover to rise up quickly. You have a single leg. We'll talk about it. Going on from those movements, you would have a walkover where it it is to land on one leg from handstand, it would be more intense. I can demonstrate a small variation that I am still workshopping. As you can see, I would land one leg first as I initiated and instantly walk up. I'm still landing 2 feet, so we're discovering. And also, from moving backward, finding that point of contact to shoot up and over from the backwards. I can't believe I haven't mentioned it, wheel pose. I'm calling it like back bends. We're doing a wheel for those who in yoga. I just like not used to calling it that. This is a back bend for me. That is my space of growth for that move. I'm sure there's more to it, but life has not brought me the words of connection. My friends, this is a guide to backbends through my perspective, a dancer, and also someone who is just a movement practitioner. I am in deep love with my growth at 21 years of age, through 2 years of rest in dance disciplines. I'm very proud to say that through my training in primal movements, symmetrically building my strength, I have been able to obtain this quality of movement in my backbends so much better than what I would have ever naturally expected. Thank you for watching. I wish you good healing after this attempt of trying all of these movements. And I hope to bring more of my guidance through my heart space and my worldview to those who bring purpose to my life. Thank you so much. Cuídense mucho. Ciao, ciao.